Hi, I'm with Sasha Carrion, who is a hypnotist and a life coach.
Yeah.
This is Mental Health Awareness Month, and so I thought it was really important. I get a lot of messages asking me, does hypnotizing people work? Does hypnosis work? How does it work? And so we're gonna explain how it works and how incredible the mind is. How powerful is your subconscious mind?
Super. So imagine that it's believed that your subconscious mind is a whopping something like 88 to 95% of the mind. So that means that your conscious mind, your rational mind, which is what we're talking to each other with, is round about only 5 to 12% of the mind. That's it.
I know a ton of people who were able to quit smoking just by getting hypnotized. It's facts. It's proven. It works.
It totally works.
But you, and no matter if you're going to a therapist or a life coach or hypnotist or both, she does it all, you have to want to change. You have to be at that point where you're like, I need the change, I want the change, and I am ready for your suggestions. Because in hypnotherapy, it is suggested affirmations, right?
Yeah, it's based on whatever it is that you want. So that's why when people come in here, I always tell them that I'm like a genie, because your wish is my command. And the more I stay true to you, the better the results we get. And so each and every single session is customized to whatever it is that you want.
And I truly believe that you can have anything that you want. You have to want it, and you have to believe it within yourself. I mean, how many role models tell you that? Whether they're getting their awards, it's all about having that mindset.
Completely.
And who better to get that from is a hypnotherapist and life coach.
Yeah, and I have to say that there are some situations in which a person has come in because maybe they've been dragged in by a significant other to quit smoking or something like that, and I'll work with them and they'll quit smoking, and then later on they'll confess to me like, listen, the reality is that I didn't actually want to quit. And they actually quit. But for me, you know, it's really important for me that this really works for my clients, which is why I tell people that it's important that they be on board. So this way, we're on the same team. So for example, like when you come in, it's like I am on Team Alicia.
I like that. For once, someone's on my team. There's so many snakes out there. You want the good people around you. Wanting the change is super important. And for me, I wanted more positive affirmations in my life because I don't know about you, but my personal issues are people around me who drain me. And I love some of them, some I don't. I think of it as rewiring. Sometimes I need to, we're constantly updating our phones. So the way, and you tell me if I'm wrong, because I'm just talking out loud.
You're totally right. In fact, I'll put it this way. So the subconscious mind is the equivalent of a hard drive.
Okay.
Yeah, and imagine that your conscious mind is the desktop. And so all of the programs are in the hard drive. And imagine that Word isn't working. What would you do? Your goal would be to pull that out and put in new programs, and that's what we do. And in order for it to stick, it usually takes a certain number of sessions.
Well, and that makes sense because if for 10 years, just for an example, I'm being told by a friend or a family member, I can't do this or this isn't good enough, you are rewiring the brain, yes, you can do this.
Yeah.
Yes. So, and that takes time because it's a habit. It's a mental habit. Friends of mine who have this mental habit of every morning waking up saying, I don't like myself, I don't like the way I look, I don't like the way I feel, I'm not comfortable in my skin, you know. And if you're telling yourself that, if you are telling yourself that, if other people are telling yourself that, then your mind, it is powerful. It believes you.
It will make it reality even if it isn't.
Right.
That's how powerful the subconscious mind is. So I'll give you an example. I once had a guy come in here, and he was a really good looking guy. I mean, one of the best looking guys I have ever seen in my life.
Is he single?
And so when he came in, I asked him, okay, what would you like my help with? And he said, my confidence. And I'm looking at him and I'm like, what's wrong with your confidence? And he told me, I don't feel that I'm good enough. I couldn't believe it. My jaw just like dropped. And he explained to me how he could get a first date, but usually a second date was just out of the question because he was just projecting his low self-worth. And because of it, women found him unattractive. Yeah.
That actually makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and so it was the weirdest thing because it's like his perception of who he was and how he looked went totally against the reality of how he actually looked and how he even projected himself because the guy was like fit and everything. And so it just goes to show you that whatever we think about ourselves and our world, that is what our minds make a reality.
Yeah, I believe that. I've also gone on dates with people who are delicious looking.
Yeah.
And then once they start talking, I'm like, they're not attractive to me anymore. So personality is your number one thing. Your mental health, who you are, is more important than anything.
Yeah.
And like, you know, and just being yourself. But I totally agree with that. I mean, I've been attracted to some people who my friends were like, why? And I'm like, they're really cool. And they're confident, and they're fun, and they're genuine. I think that kids, when we were kids, when I was a kid, I was unstoppable. And I feel like kids, the reason why they're so honest, the reason why their imagination is so big, and they think here, and I still think here until I meet people who are vampires, and sometimes it goes down. But tell me if I'm wrong, but kids from, like, I read between the ages of 0 and maybe 8 or 7, kids are using 100% of their subconscious mind.
Yeah, so imagine that the subconscious mind here, and around it is this thin little area, which is the conscious mind. And in between that is this barrier that makes it so that not everything gets in. And so we have that when we're adults, but when we're
we
kids,
age, that develops.
That's right.
It's like a filter, like for clean water, for our thoughts.
Exactly. But when we're kids, we don't have that. So if you're born to somebody who's dysfunctional, if you have like negative teachers, if you're bullied, all that stuff, it gets right in. Now,
and it stays.
Unfortunately, yes. And then after that, what happens is that there's always a part of the mind that wants to refer to the past.
As a protective, right?
Yes.
To protect you, because your minds want to protect you. The reason why you may stop a thought or stop an idea from happening is because your mind is protecting you from something that has happened in the past.
Totally. And what a lot of people don't know is that the subconscious mind is much more concerned with your survival than your success. So does that make sense why a lot of times it's like you might be experiencing the kind of anxiety that has you like not being able to function, or maybe you're checking out, you're experiencing depression, and because of that you're not moving forward with something? That's your mind trying to play a trick on you. It's thinking, oh, you know what, it's better if she or he doesn't really go that route because she or he might put themselves at risk, and you know, it's better if that doesn't happen. And so it'll mess with you that way.
Tell me, you have the statistics of how the percentages of how well hypnosis works.
Yeah,
like it's proven. It is. You can Google it. We ain't making it up. I just wanted to bring all of this to your attention because a lot of people, while she pulls this up, a lot of people have asked me questions like, oh, I see the hypnosis videos. Does it work? How does it work? And this is just us taking the time to help. And the fact that it is Mental Health Awareness Month, this fits in perfect for what we're trying to accomplish here.
So this was a study that was conducted by American Health magazine, and they compared the effectiveness of psychoanalysis, behavioral therapy, and hypnosis. And by the way, hypnotherapy is just the use of hypnosis in a therapeutic form. That's what it is.
It is, yeah.
And so they found that with psychoanalysis, it represented a 38% recovery rate for those who underwent 600 sessions. 600 sessions. It's ridiculous, right? Then came behavioral therapy. And that worked, that got a 72% success rate after 22 sessions. So that's significantly better than the psychoanalysis.
Yeah.
But now when it came to hypnosis, they found a 93% recovery rate after only 6 sessions.
That's so impressive. And I don't think enough people know that. And so this is why this is my first IGTV upload, because it is so important to me. If you know me, you understand that, like, mental health is so important to me. I've met a ton of people out there who ask me questions, and that is why I wanted to come to the professional and do this video just to give back, just to help, because you can do and be anything you want as long as you believe it. You have to want it. You have to, you know, I didn't just say, oh, I want to be a singer and not work towards it. You actually have to work towards the things that you want, and you have to believe in them. And just looking at these stats, like how, you know, hypnotherapy, the proven numbers that it works, and how many people out there do you know that have been able to quit smoking only from hypnosis? I'm not a smoker, but if I was, I would come straight to her. Help me, 'cause it smells. But yeah, I think that this is super important, and if you take mental health seriously, which a lot of us do, a lot of people don't understand anxiety, they don't understand depression, and you know what? Not all of us do. But I can tell you one thing, that going to a therapist, going to a hypnotherapist, a life coach is the best step you can take to move forward in the right direction. You can be, and again, have anything you want as long as you believe in it and you work towards it. Sasha here will give me audio, MP3s of the sessions that we do for my positive affirmations, because I want to be my best self That is what I want. And it's really nice because with the sessions, I'm able to go home and every morning I listen to my audio. And it's just, it's a form of meditation in a sense.
It is. And usually the best time to listen to them is at night. Because whatever you last input into your mind is the first thing that your subconscious mind processes. And every time you come in, you always get a new copy.
And you don't want to do that on while you have caffeine in you. So it's best like if you do it in the morning before caffeine and stuff.
That's right.
Like that.
The good thing about doing it in the morning is that you're able to kind of set the tone for the day, which is great.
Yeah, I need to end on this because this is the coolest story. Sasha, last time I was here, told me that there was a boy that came in here. Was it a boy or a girl?
Yes, boy, 14-year-old.
14-year-old that couldn't walk. The doctors told him that he couldn't walk. I'll let you finish.
Yeah, so what happened was that he was in a severe accident that pretty much, just crushed his like pelvis and his left leg and his foot. I mean, just horrible. He had to have numerous surgeries. And so you can imagine that, the surgeons, the doctors, they told him, you're probably never going to walk again. So don't even let your mind go that route. And so he came in because he was so depressed about it. And so I asked him, well, what do you want me to do? And he said, I want to walk. And I thought, well, okay, so what are the chances of me being able to do this? What are the doctors and the surgeons saying? They said that I'm not going to be able to. And in that moment, I thought, you know what? I believe in miracles, and the mind is powerful.
Yes.
So I told him, let's work on this. And we started making a list of suggestions. I did a few sessions for him, and then I didn't see him for a few months. His mother made an appointment for him recently, about a month and a half. He came in walking.
That's so incredible. It gives me
Walking.
goosebumps.
My eyes swelled up with tears that he was actually able to do that. And I have to say, I think it's
mind-blowing.
It's two different things. I think that he had that faith.
Yeah.
Number one, that strong
faith.
belief. And
Like, I'm going to walk.
Yes.
I'm going to. There's not a doubt. No doubt.
And even told me, one of the many people that told him that he wasn't going to walk. When he heard it, he told me that he just thought, you know what, I'm going to show her. I'm going to do it. That's exactly what he did.
Yeah.
He put in the work on every level, and he's now walking. It's amazing. I'm so proud of him.
I mean, that story is mind-blowing. That is
Yeah.
incredible. And it just proves how strong our minds are. No matter what you believe, everybody knows how powerful our minds are. It's just learning how to work with our minds, rewiring them from old habits, bad habits, or things that people told you maybe when you were younger or even now. And like how we talked about kids, where they don't have that filter yet.
Oh yeah, and so there's so many people that are walking around still living their lives based on the crap that they were told as kids.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's a horrible thing.
I mean, I've seen people read faster through hypnosis. I've seen people, again, the smoking, get rid of anxiety, depression,
Trauma.
You can.
I mean, that's
fix
how I got
yourself.
into it myself, because it worked for me for my severe trauma and anxiety in a way that nothing worked. And one of the things that I'm totally honest about is that I always tell people, I always admit that I didn't believe in this myself. I didn't. But you know what? I was so desperate that I needed something to work. And every time I came in, I got better and better till I realized that I had found my calling. And that's actually, by the way, guys, how I got into this.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
You experienced it yourself, and then you want to give back.
Yeah.
Like, it worked for me. How can I help? I mean, I have heard of hypnosis for years now. My favorite actor, Marlon Brando, did it constantly. He was big into it. And I think that it should be talked about more.
Yes.
And that's why I really wanted to make this video. So if you do have any questions for myself or Sasha, please message me. I will, for the first time ever, open up my DMs. It's scary in there. It's real scary in my DMs, so I don't go in there. But I'll open them up if you have any questions, because this is all about helping and getting people to move forward in their lives, because everybody has the potential to be their best selves. Also, correct me if I'm wrong, but confidence, is that a gene? It's not.
No.
It's here.
It's,
You get your confidence from your mind. So if you want to put all this money and all of this time into gym and protein shakes and all these things and working on your physical self, your mind is just as important.
Yeah.
For me, it is more important than anything else, because you're able to sleep at night, be confident, and get what you want. And that's the goal, is to, if we're gonna be here, if we're living, let's do it.
Yeah.
There should be nothing stopping us. So thank goodness for people like Sasha, who took the time to do this craft and to help people get over pretty much anything from walking to not smoking and to getting rid of anxiety and depression, which is such a huge thing. Sasha is located in Los Angeles, and I will put her number and Instagram handle in here so you guys can contact her if you need anything further. But thank you for joining us, and I hope this helped, and I'll see you later.
Bye, guys.